Bridging the gap. What is the Harlem Renaissance? The Harlem Renaissance refers to the African American boom of cultural expression that peaked in the 1920s. Harlem in New York City was at the center of what was first called the New Negro Movement and then the Harlem Renaissance. The Harlem Renaissance was a celebration of African American heritage expressed through an outpouring of art, literature, music, and dance. I'll be discussing Aaron Douglas. He was an African American painter and muralist from the Harlem Renaissance period. He was born in 1899, May 26, 1898, in Topeka, Kansas. He was the son of a baker and worked as a laborer. His exposure to African American printer Henry Oswald Tanner influenced him to become a painter. Douglas educated himself despite many obstacles. He graduated from the University of Nebraska with a BA in Fine Arts in 1922. He received a MA from Columbia University, and he gained inspiration from his artwork from African art and themes. He was called the pioneering Africanist by Alan Locke. He later became the illustrator for the book The New Negro, which was published in 1925. Douglas became the first president of the Harlem Artists Guild in 1928. He contributed to African American journals as the NAACP's The Crisis and the Urban League's Opportunity. In 1940, he founded the art department at Fisk University, where he was the department head and taught for 29 years. Douglas was one of the main forces behind the Harlem Renaissance. One of his pieces, entitled Into Bondage, was displayed at Texas Centennial Exposition in Dallas, Texas on June 19, 1936. He was commissioned to chart the progress of the African American culture from past to present. This particular painting shows the strong, proud African in chains being marched off to slave ships that would take them to America. The scene reflects Alan Locke's idea about the new Negro, which were at the core of the Harlem Renaissance movement. The next piece is entitled Song of the Towers, and Douglas presented this jazz iconic picture of a saxophone player. The musician in this piece is an emblem of the African heritage and the African American culture. This represents new opportunities that art and music offered blacks during the Harlem Renaissance period. The Crisis, this is the cover of a magazine that was published by W.E.B. Du Bois. And during the Harlem Renaissance, Douglas remained true to his own artistic vision: people as laborers, old rituals and ceremonies, and most importantly, portraits of black people as blacks were themes throughout his career. And the final piece is in an African setting. This painting shows Native Africans joyously singing and dancing. Douglas looks to Africa for inspiration. His signature style was what he called Egyptian form, which were figures or silhouettes in profile with the eye rendered from a frontal viewpoint. Here, the silhouette figures and settings are elegantly simplified and abstracted in accordance with the style of the non-mimetic tribal arts. And this piece was produced in 1934.